Today's news highlights. Date April 22, 2025. News highlights: the French documentary TikTok, a community under influence, exposes TikTok's ties to the Chinese Communist Party, saying that its parent company, ByteDance, is controlled by Beijing, using big data to monitor people and challenge US digital hegemony. Experts point out that TikTok has become a tool for the CCP's cognitive warfare and political propaganda by controlling public opinion through algorithms. The documentary interviews scholars and investigators from many countries, emphasizing that Chinese companies cannot refuse to hand over data, and that platforms have become a powerful weapon for authoritarian regimes to maintain stability, threatening democracy and national security. News highlights: the Philippine Presidential Office issued Memorandum No. 82 to ease restrictions on exchanges between government officials and Taiwan since 1989, hoping to attract Taiwanese investment and strengthen economic and trade cooperation. With the exception of the President, Vice President, and Minister of Foreign Affairs and Defense, other officials are allowed to travel to Taiwan for economic and trade purposes, using ordinary passports and not official titles, and reporting their itinerary and reports to the Manila Economic and Cultural Office, but they are still prohibited from signing formal agreements and maintain their basic stance on the One China policy. News highlights: South Korean customs seized a number of cases in which Chinese companies falsely labeled goods as made in Korea and exported them to the United States to circumvent tariffs, involving more than $20 million. Most of the illegal products are battery materials and monitoring parts, and South Korea and the United States have launched a joint investigation. As the two sides will discuss tariffs during the IMF World Bank meeting, the ROC side stressed that it will put its national interests first and respond cautiously. On the other hand, Hyundai Motor and POSCO announced that they will invest $5.8 billion to build factories in the United States in response to the U.S. trade policy. News highlights: Tesla, Intel, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Nvidia, and other technology giants will announce their earnings reports one after another. Affected by Trump's tariffs and chip bans, Nvidia's stock price has plummeted, and the supply chain of AI servers and electric vehicles has attracted much attention. Investors must pay close attention to the financial reports of U.S. stocks and the company's response strategies to tariffs and bans, and observe the short-term decline and subsequent rebound opportunities of Taiwan stocks. News highlights: with Trump's announcement of reciprocal tariffs, Taiwan's manufacturing industry was impacted, and FCS, the leader of plastic injection machines, relied on market fragmentation, global production capacity layout and intelligent manufacturing to break through the Indian and Brazilian markets in advance, reduce dependence on the United States, and seize orders for new energy vehicles and high-value added equipment. In the first quarter, revenue increased by more than 10% year-on-year, and BITS orders accounted for 60% of the total orders. News highlights: 2 new drugs for Alzheimer's disease have obtained drug licenses from the Taiwan Food and Drug Administration, and the drug can be used at its own expense as soon as June, with a course of treatment cost of more than 1.5 million yuan. The Taiwan Society of Clinical Dementia has formulated 4 major checkpoint medication guidelines, and for early-stage patients, they must be confirmed by imaging, cerebrospinal fluid testing and genetic screening. It is estimated that out of 350,000 people with dementia, about 50,000 are eligible for the disease, and about 20,000 are willing to pay out of pocket. The Health Insurance Department will evaluate the possibility of inclusion in health insurance benefits in the future based on efficacy and financial situation. News highlights: Trump's announcement of reciprocal tariffs triggered a global stock market crash. Taiwan stocks fell sharply, and listed companies launched treasury stocks to save themselves. Since the 7th, a total of 126 companies have announced treasury shares, with a total amount of 525 billion yuan, and Litech has taken the lead in completing 1,000 buybacks, and the stock price has rebounded by more than 14%. On the 21st, 4 more companies including Silicon Grid were added, of which the upper limit of Silicon Grid repurchase reached 10.5 billion yuan. Legal persons recommend that investors pay attention to stocks with high execution rate, good financial reports or turnaround themes. News highlights: with the international gold price hitting a new high, investing in gold has become a hot topic. Private silver buildings provide physical gold, which is confidential but needs to bear the risk of custody, and the transaction needs to declare income tax. Gold passbooks have no custody risk and transaction costs are low, but they must be declared in accordance with the regulations. Spot gold can be traded through the OTC platform, which is liquid but the price may be limited. Gold ETFs and funds are suitable for long-term investment, but you should be aware of exchange rate risks and fees. Gold futures, on the other hand, are suitable for active investors and offer high leverage, but with greater risk. A variety of investment methods are suitable for investors with different risk appetites. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff policy has hit financial markets, the dollar has weakened, Taiwan stocks have fallen, but the new Taiwan dollar has risen 1.48 jiao to close at 32.46 yuan, a 4-month high. Hot money has been remitted to Taiwan in a big way, but foreign capital has continued to oversell the stock market, causing concern among the central bank. The central bank asked foreign capital to invest in the stock market as soon as possible and avoid foreign exchange speculation. The central bank revealed that foreign capital must enter the market to buy stocks within a week after remittance, otherwise it will be regarded as foreign exchange speculation. The US dollar index fell sharply, and the major Asian currencies appreciated across the board, with the new Taiwan dollar rising 0.46%. News highlights. According to the Ministry of Finance, the international credit rating agency Standard & Poor's affirmed Taiwan's sovereign credit rating at AA+ and looked forward to stability, affirming Taiwan's strengths in advanced chip manufacturing, financial soundness, and strong net external assets. S&P noted that Taiwan's tech sector is in a healthy fiscal position, despite an aging population and defense needs boosting spending, with record high profits, larger than expected tax growth, and a strong fiscal position. S&P also believes that the PBOC's flexible monetary policy will help deal with international trade uncertainty and financial market shocks. Taiwan's future export and economic growth prospects are expected to remain good. News highlights. In recent years, the rise of male medical aesthetics, influenced by the trend of Japanese and Korean idols, men are paying more and more attention to appearance maintenance. According to statistics from medical aesthetic group Airly, the number of male customers has more than doubled after the epidemic, and popular treatments include skin light therapy, body sculpting and hair augmentation. In order to cater for men's preference for a low profile, some clinics have dedicated floors. Uni President Lions stars Chenja Xian and Panja Ikai also maintained their status through medical aesthetics, showing that men's factory maintenance has gradually become a trend. News highlights. Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Liluan and People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuqing held a summit of opposition leaders on the 22nd to conduct dialogues on Taiwan's internal affairs and international challenges, focusing on issues such as the impact of high tariffs on the United States and judicial justice. The dialogue between the two sides lasted for 45 minutes, which was broadcast live throughout the whole process, and a joint media visit was opened after the meeting. News highlights. Catholic Francis passed away yesterday at the age of 88 after a stroke, and the world mourns. A statue of the Virgin Mary in Colombia was found in tears on Good Friday, and the video went viral, with people calling it a miracle and some people thinking it was an evil grief for the world. The scientific community speculated on condensation or capillaries, and the local diocese has not yet responded. News highlights. The 33-year-old artist Wang Dalo recently enlisted in the army to serve as an alternative and belonged to the 263rd Echelon 14th Squadron. The Ministry of the Interior yesterday released a video of the alternative service song competition. The 14th Squadron won the championship, and Wang Dalo hilariously shouted "full big platform" during the performance, which set off heated discussions. Netizens praised him for his hard work, the atmosphere was warm, and the video also went viral on the internet. News highlights. Catholic Francis passed away yesterday at the age of 88 after a stroke, and the world mourns. Meanwhile, a statue of the Virgin Mary in Colombia was found weeping on Good Friday, and the image went viral, with people calling it a miracle and some believing it to symbolize the sorrow for the evil of the world. The scientific community speculated on condensation or capillaries, and the local diocese has not yet responded. News highlights. Mi Kabai and her 3-year-old boyfriend Sun Fei have been dating for 2 years, and their sweet relationship often flashes in the community, and then they live together, but they fall into a cooling-off period due to economic disparity and life friction. Sun Fei's income is unstable and it is difficult to share the family, and Mi Kabai is busy with work and taking care of his dog with cancer, and the two sides gradually disagree. Recently, there was a breakup crisis, and the two have not responded so far. News highlights. Cai Cand broke up with director Chen Jiajin last year, who had been dating for 19 years, and the outside world thought that the relationship between the old husband and wife was weakened. She clarified that the two have always been like teenagers in love, and it is precisely because they have something to talk about and know how to communicate that they found that their imagination of life and the future is no longer consistent, and they chose to break up peacefully. Cai Cand admitted that he needs a lot of personal space, and when he is in love, he focuses on companionship, and the two rely on time division to maintain their relationship. News highlights. Supplementing protein can promote metabolism, gain muscle, and reduce fat, and doctors recommend 8 kinds of high-protein vegetables such as okra, spinach, and red amaranth, which have antioxidant, blood pressure, and anti-cancer effects. Protein foods such as chicken breast, tofu, and fish can be paired with green tea and coffee to help improve fat-burning efficiency. News highlights. Hair loss is not necessarily male baldness or stress, but a man's hair loss is caused by syphilis. Doctors remind that there are many causes of hair loss, and detailed diagnosis and symptomatic treatment should be carried out, including telogen effluvium, alopecia areata, and nutritional deficiencies such as zinc deficiency. News highlights. Taipei's famous ramen shop Ghost Golden Stick detonated a controversy due to female customers queuing up to uncompress. The store manager refused to sell noodles, and the police came to the scene to coordinate. The incident sparked heated discussions among netizens, with most supporting the store defending the rules, and a few questioning whether it was too strict. The store emphasized, queuing is a virtue, and cutting in line is very lacking. News highlights. A financial dispute broke out after the breakup of the $1 million YouTuber crowd Andy and Jianing, and the prosecution searched for Jianning's family, and the 4 were listed as defendants and transferred for retrial. The clothing and reaction of Jianning's mother and daughter sparked heated discussions, and Jianning's mother was impatient to shout to the media, "Don't shoot anymore." Jianning paid 30,000 yuan in bail, and his mother paid 200,000 yuan in bail and was restricted from leaving the country. News highlights: some netizens are curious about how high mosquitoes can fly, which has sparked heated discussions. Experts say mosquitoes can reach up to 4 or 50 floors, and even go up the stairs along pipelines or elevators. Even if you live in a high-rise building, you can't escape mosquito bites. Another netizen shared a trick to use light to lure mosquitoes out of the room, which was tried and tested. News highlights: Xiao's second daughter Lily, Su Shaon, traveled to the UK and posted beautiful photos, wearing a black tight-fitting dress to show hot curves, and her elegant temperament attracted netizens to praise fundamental Lin Chiliang. After losing Big S, he regained his smile, and the community returned to attract 60,000 likes, and Xiao's even confessed emotionally, "Thank you for being my daughter." News highlights: Korean cheerleader Chuan En-fei wanted to come to Taiwan for development, but it was rumored to be blocked by a black letter, suspected to be related to Lee Duowai's team, which detonated the topic. In this regard, Lee Duowai's Taiwan broker solemnly clarified, emphasizing that there is no position to interfere with the development of others, and clarifying that there is no letter to smear. News highlights: after Wang Delu entered the Chenggong Ridge to serve as a substitute service, he actually reproduced the classic quotation full of big platforms in the Song of Substitute Service competition, setting off a wave of memory killing. The award gaffe was once named Brother Platform, but now the self-deprecating reproduction has become a highlight, making netizens praise, "It's really hard, I laughed out loud." Even the big platform has moved into the army, and some netizens ridiculed, "The most trafficked man in the history of Chenggongling." In this wave of topics, is Wang Delu's transformation successful? News highlights: after the SS death, his family was in deep grief, and SS mother asked for help on Facebook, saying that she couldn't be strong, and mentioned that she had seen a physical and mental health department and had taken a heart booster. She sought the help of her body, mind, and soul mentors, hoping to get through the pain. Gu Junyi went to Jinbei's every day to protect Big S, and little S did not return to work, and the whole family was deeply saddened after the loss of a loved one. News highlights: internet celebrity teacher Andy accused his ex-girlfriend Jianning of taking away the channel they jointly operated, and the incident involved Zhu Jianning's family may be involved in tax evasion. The new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office conducted an investigation into the Jianning family on the 21st and searched 5 locations including Kunhai Entertainment. Jianning paid 30,000 yuan on bail, his parents and sister also paid bail separately, and his mother and sister were restricted from leaving the country. Jianning bowed deeply to the media outside the district prosecutor's office to apologize, while Jianning's parents and sister avoided media attention, and Jianning's sister wore a luxury brand, which attracted attention. News highlights: 58-year-old Taiwanese Golden Melody queen Zhang Yaoan recently suffered from Parkinson's disease and moderate atrophy of the left brain, and in 2022, she was found to have a brain aneurysm, and doctors warned her that she would die at any time. She underwent multiple surgeries and was once in a coma due to excessive blood loss, but was lucky to get her life back. Despite this, Zhang Yaoan unfortunately became the protagonist of internet rumors, and the news of her death caused shock. She reluctantly responded to the incident on social media, saying that she had not died, and humorously responded to the fake death messages circulating on the internet. News highlights: the opposition parties have questioned the government's ministries for delaying the unfreezing of the budget and used it for propaganda. In an interview today, Executive Premier Zhou Rongta said that since the legislative yuan is so urgent, he has asked all ministries to send reports on the thaw as soon as possible. According to statistics, the legislative yuan has frozen 1,584 budgets, totaling 138.1 billion yuan. Zhou Rongta pointed out that the thawing case can be divided into 3 categories: some of the project conditions have not been met or need to be budgeted, and some conditions cannot be met. Regarding the request of the legislative yuan, he stressed that all ministries will be required to complete the thaw in a short period of time to ensure the smooth operation of the business. News highlights: US trade officials decided to impose steep tariffs on solar cells from Southeast Asia, ending a year-long investigation into tariffs ranging from as low as 40% to as high as 3,500%, depending on the country and company. The tariffs are designed to discourage Chinese companies from importing cheap products into the US market by setting up factories in Southeast Asia. Solar manufacturers such as Hanwha Qcells and First Solar have accused Chinese companies of selling solar panels below cost and receiving unfair subsidies. The move will have a significant impact on global solar trade and could increase the cost of solar panel assembly in the United States. News highlights: singer Li Weifeng has been active in variety shows in recent years, and after 11 years, he released the single Happy Seesaw, and is determined to hold a birthday concert every year. Has a stable career, has a deep relationship with his girlfriend Miss M, and regards each other as the breadwinner of the family. Looking back, he talked about growing up in a single-parent family and being estranged from his father until he lost contact with him after he went into debt. Li Weifeng thanked his girlfriend and his family for giving him a sense of security and support, allowing him to regain the warmth of family. News highlights: Roman Catholic Pope Francis passed away on the 21st at the age of 88. Physician Su Yifeng said that the Pope is suspected of having aspiration pneumonia caused by severe influenza and was infected after choking on food, and he still died after a long period of treatment. Due to his special status, the Pope is often in contact with people and cannot wear masks, making him vulnerable to respiratory diseases. Dr. Su also explained that pneumonia is especially dangerous for the elderly, who often have no obvious fever symptoms, and are manifested by poor mental health and drowsiness. The death certificate released by the Vatican shows that the Pope died of a stroke and coma and heart failure. News highlights: certain clothing should be avoided when flying to ensure comfort and safety. Cabin crew advised to avoid wearing shorts, as prolonged exposure to aircraft seats may increase the risk of exposure to germs. Slippers, flip-flops, and heels are also not suitable, as they can increase the danger of slide use in the event of an emergency evacuation. High heels can puncture slides, and flight attendants change shoes for added safety. Also, avoid going barefoot, wearing tight pants, or restrictive clothing, as these may cause physical discomfort or cause more serious injuries in an emergency. News highlights: allegations of sexual assault of an Indian trainee flight attendant while being treated at a hospital. According to reports, the flight attendant almost drowned in a swimming pool while undergoing training and was subsequently taken to hospital and admitted to the intensive care unit. In a semi-comatose state, she accused a paramedic of sexually assaulting her and said that 2 nurses were present at the time, but did not intervene. After the incident, she called the police for help with the assistance of her husband and lawyer. News highlights: Lai Waru and Lu Jiaming held a make-up wedding on the 13th. Bai Bingbing was misreported to be unhappy and left the table due to seating arrangement problems. Bai Bingbing clarified that because he had to run many activities that day, the wedding was the first stop, so he left early, and emphasized that he was not dissatisfied with the wedding. Lai Waru said on the social platform that all the guests who came to the wedding were nobles, and thanked everyone for their concern, emphasizing that happy things should go in the direction of happiness. News highlights: a middle-aged unemployed person asked about his experience of changing jobs in middle age on the internet, saying that he tried to work as a taxi driver after being laid off, but his income was not enough to make ends meet. Many netizens suggested that he change his career to do food delivery, cleaning, security and other work, or learn professional skills such as water, electricity, paint, etc., and pointed out that if the taxi rental operation is not cost-effective, it is recommended to buy a car and operate it yourself. News highlights: the Prince of Asia Jang Kyun-suk shocked fans by revealing that he had thyroid cancer and underwent surgery last year. He also shared his experience of anti-cancer and anti-bipolar disorder, saying that he had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder due to long-term insomnia and emotional breakdown, and gradually recovered after medication. After the surgery, he cherished his health and donated 1.2 billion won to his alma mater to express his enthusiasm for charity. News highlights: as the temperature rises day by day, high temperature warnings have been lit up in Taitung, Pingtung, and other places. Lin Jiakai, the weather anchor of MINTV, pointed out that the weather is stable today, 22nd, and the temperature is high, but from tomorrow, 23rd, the impact of the front will bring showers or thunderstorms to the north and east of the central part, and the temperature will drop slightly. On Friday and Saturday, it will be slightly cooler in the north and east due to the influence of the cloud system over southern China. The temperature in some parts of Taiwan can reach 38 degrees today, accompanied by strong winds, and the public should be aware of the possible dangers caused by heat stroke and strong winds. News highlights: Wu Zinde, Secretary General of Taiwan's Basic Progress, and Li Yangziu, a group that dismissed the Blue Committee, were persuaded by the police to act illegally when they preached at the intersection today, 22nd, and she questioned how much space there was left for small citizens to speak. She pointed out that compared to Taipei Mayor Chang Wanan, who was warned 7 times for gathering outside the Beijing prosecutor's office last week, their actions did not obstruct traffic, but they were intervened by the police. Wu Zinde sarcastically said that he enjoyed mayoral specifications today, and said that he would insist on doing the right thing, despite the resistance he faced. News highlights: Wang Xiaoling, a Kuomintang legislator from a non-district district, recently asked the Ministry of Agriculture to provide a map of the configuration of the wartime grain distribution station, which sparked controversy, and Zhou Rongta, the premier, said that Wang's request for funds must be approved by him, and pointed out that he had no right to order the members to stand behind. Wang Xiaoling asked Zhou Rongta again when questioned today whether Zhou Rongta had said this, and Zhou frankly admitted and added, emphasizing that the request for funds needs to be understood by him first, and expressed respect for the leaked information. Wang Xiaoling criticized Zhou Rongta for smearing the opposition party as a passerby of the Central People's Republic of China, and stressed that she was trying to let the public understand the allocation of resources in an emergency. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump announced reciprocal tariffs, causing the global stock market to fluctuate violently, and Taiwan stocks were also affected, opening low on the 21st and then moving lower, closing at 19,106.2 points, down 288.83 points, or 1.49%, with a trading volume of 207.66 billion yuan, and the three major legal persons sold more than 6.257 billion yuan. With the maturity date of $6.5 trillion in treasury bonds, under the influence of two major factors, the future may usher in an asset crisis, and the stock market may have to prepare for a dive. News highlights Hsinchu Civil Affairs Director Shi Shooting recently posted on Facebook, saying that she heard children frolicking and shouting "big idiots for a big boy" in the park, and envied the children's childlike words, and also said that parents are highly intellectuals and encourage children to be creative. The article sparked netizens to question it as a fantasy article and criticized her for encouraging her children to swear and not meet the standards of responsible parents. Lin Zhija, a spokesperson for the Hsinchu Double Strike headquarters, pointed out that Xi's post unexpectedly prompted a surge in Gao Honggan's recall signatures, and jokingly expressed his gratitude for her vote reminder effect. News highlights Li Xianlong's wife, Ho Qing, recently reposted an article criticizing Xi Jinping, describing his ruling style over the past 12 years as a gang boss, pointing out that Xi Jinping's hardline foreign policy has damaged China's international image and affected its global influence. The move sparked a fierce reaction from Chinese netizens, asking her to delete the article and sparking public attention. Ho Qing, who has been in the spotlight in the past for her political remarks about Taiwan, has once again expressed criticism of the Chinese leadership and has become a hot topic of discussion. News highlights Samsung plans to discontinue the production of DDR4 memory, and is expected to enter the EOL stage by the end of 2025, and will stop taking orders in early June. Memory module manufacturers have turned to Taiwanese companies such as Nanyok and Winbond, which have driven the recent surge in memory stock prices. The stock prices of Nanyok, Pinan, and Winbond rose sharply, and the trading volume surged. The market is optimistic about memory demand in the second quarter, but the uncertainty of U.S. tariffs may affect shipments in the second half of the year, and the industry needs to respond cautiously. News highlights Cathay Taiwan weighted Zhang 2-00663L, a subsidiary of Cathay Investment Trust, held a beneficiary meeting on April 21 and decided to initiate a split, becoming the first ETF to be split in the Taiwan market. The split operation is 1/7, and the net value of each unit will be close to the initial issue price, 20 yuan, about 20,000 yuan per unit, lowering the investment threshold and improving liquidity. This decision will help improve staking convenience and transaction volume. The ETF is suitable for active investors, but it is important to pay attention to the volatility risk of leveraged products. News highlights U.S. President Donald Trump reiterated his stance on social media Truth Social, calling for the Fed to cut interest rates, criticizing Fed Chairman Powell as a big snake, accusing Powell of cutting interest rates during the election and not providing equal support for Trump's second term. Trump's attack on the Fed is seen as foreshadowing, and the Fed is expected to be blamed for the upcoming economic weakness. Analysts have pointed out that Trump's inconsistent stance and accusations against Powell may be aimed at deflecting economic pressures and creating uncertainty about Powell's possible dismissal. News highlights according to the latest polls, Trump's approval rating fell to 42%, the lowest since he returned to the White House, largely because of concerns about his expansion of presidential power. Polls show that a majority of respondents oppose some of Trump's policies, including punishing liberal universities, halting university funding, and controlling cultural institutions. Most people believe the president should abide by the court ruling and are unhappy with Trump's non-compliance with the decree. Trump's support for issues such as immigration, inflation, and the rule of law has also slipped. News highlights Jianning's family of four paid all the bail after completing the reinterrogation last night, 21st, while Jianning's parents did not complete the payment of bail until the early morning. When leaving, the couple tried their best to avoid the media camera, and Jianning's mother even went to the toilet to make a phone call, and then left quickly in full gear. Kunhai Entertainment is suspected of tax evasion, and the prosecutor has searched the office and related homes in accordance with the tax contribution verification law, and pointed out that the high amount of insurance paid by Jianning's mother may be related to her control of the company's finances and taxes. The lawyer believes that the case involves a relatively high amount of suspected tax evasion. News highlights the signatories of the ouster of Kuomintang legislators Lai Shipao and Liao Xianxiang announced that it had broken through the second-tier legal threshold and would continue to advance to the third tier, and was expected to send the documents jointly in early May. In this regard, Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei said that the second-order joint signature is nothing, and most legislators in the party are ready to meet the third-order challenge. The recall group stressed that it would work hard to achieve its goals despite the difficult constituencies. The KMT's proposal to extend the session to July 31 in an attempt to use the Legislative Yuan session to protect legislators from detention has drawn criticism from the DPP, accusing it of attempting to use the postponement as a judicial umbrella. News highlights three high-level executives of the Republic of China Association for the Disabled, the chairman of the board of directors surnamed Chen, her husband surnamed Xiao, and her sister-in-law surnamed Xiao, were investigated by the prosecutors and police on suspicion of misappropriating public welfare funds to purchase private property. Prosecutors found that these people used the name of the association to raise funds, but misappropriated more than 30 million illegal gains for personal purposes such as buying houses, cars, and gold goods. In particular, the woman surnamed Xiao, as the face of the association, is active on social platforms, and has a luxurious life such as a special pet fox, which makes people question that these donations have become her private funds. Prosecutors have taken the 2 persons involved in the case into custody and continue to track the flow of money to clarify the whereabouts of the donations. News highlights today: most parts of Taiwan will be sunny to cloudy, with scattered brief showers in the mountainous areas in the afternoon. The southwest wind strengthened, and the daytime temperature was generally 32 to 35 degrees, Taitung may exceed 38 degrees, and Kaohsiung, Taipei, and other places also have high temperatures above 36 degrees. Penghu, Kinmen, and Matsu are mostly sunny to cloudy, with brief showers in Matsu at night. The air quality in the north and central parts of the country is normal, and some areas may reach an orange alert. Tomorrow, due to the front, the temperature will drop in the north, and there will be localized showers or thunderstorms. News highlights: Kongqiao International School holds an annual coming-of-age ceremony around the island, and this year's bicycle convoy collided with a car for unknown reasons when it passed through Patu, Zhonghua County, causing injuries to 7 students and 1 driver to be sent to the hospital. 2 students were seriously injured in the accident, including a boy with a severe facial tear. The windshield of the vehicle was broken, the student equipment was scattered all over the place, and the single wheel frame was deformed. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. News highlights: a rice ball shop run by a Taiwanese and Japanese husband and wife in Gushan, Kaohsiung, because the landlord demanded a large increase in rent, from 40,000 to 80,000, and it was suspected that the business was too good and was sabotaged. The store thanked customers for their support and said they would continue to operate. News highlights: Xianan, a gardener in his 60s in Kaohsiung, lured 2 young girls to his home and sexually assaulted him under the pretext of drawing talismans to exorcise evil spirits. Taking advantage of the girls' superstition about religious rituals, Xianan forcibly sexually assaulted 2 girls under the age of 18 and continued to commit the crime even when the other party resisted. After the trial, the court found that Xianan had committed the crime of forcible intercourse and sentenced him to 4 years and 10 months in prison. The case is appealable. News highlights: actress Da.S, Su Ziwan, died last month, and her family is still in deep grief. Husband Gu Junyi accompanies the cemetery every day, and SS mother, Huang Chunmei, also misses her daughter and often expresses her feelings on Facebook. Late at night today, 22, SS mother revealed that she had sought medical treatment in the physical and mental department and had taken a heart booster, but she still felt confused and unable to get better, and asked netizens for help, seeking help from a physical and mental spiritual mentor, hoping to get through the difficulties. News highlights: in October 2023, a major car accident occurred during a trip to an employee of Yaokan Technology Company, where a tour bus collided with a passenger car, resulting in 4 deaths and 22 injuries. The investigation report pointed out that the accident driver was unable to open his eyes for several seconds due to his long work and only 4 hours of sleep the day before, which led to a lack of short-term sleep and may have been affected by drugs, resulting in a trance, unable to open his eyes for several seconds, and unable to concentrate on driving. The Transport Safety Commission recommends improving driver management to ensure adequate rest time to avoid similar accidents. News highlights: at 10:43 a.m. today, 22nd, a serious car accident occurred in Patu Township, Zhonghua County, when the bicycle roundabout coming-of-age ceremony convoy of Kongqiao International School was hit by a passenger car while passing through Section 3 of Zhongshui Road, injuring 7 students and a total of 8 drivers. The scene of the accident was terrifying. Some of the students were covered in blood, and those with more serious injuries have been sent to the hospital. The police have arrived at the scene to deal with and investigate the cause of the accident, and the school has also notified parents to assist in follow-up matters. News highlights: in February this year, Wilai Lottery opened the biggest prize of the year, and the first prize of 2.07 billion yuan was won by a father and daughter. They jointly spent 2,100 yuan to bet, and got inspiration through dreams to choose numbers, of which the first district numbers are 7, 15, 16, 23, 24, 35, and the second district is 2, 5, 8. The 50-year-old father is a veteran lottery fan and dreamed of the number given by the god of wealth, which helped him win the lottery. After winning the lottery, he decided to donate 100 million yuan, of which 90 million was donated to charitable foundations, and planned to invest in real estate and vacation. News highlights: Mi Kebai and Sun Fei's relationship attracted a lot of attention after it was made public, especially as the two progressed to the stage of cohabitation, but as time went on, the economic gap and the reality of life became a major test of their relationship. Sun Fei's income in the entertainment industry is unstable, while Mi Kebai has a stable career development, which makes them have problems in sharing the family. As the time between the two decreased, especially when Mi Kebai was busy filming, the relationship between the two gradually drifted apart. News highlights YouTuber Andy and Jianing recently clashed over the man's accusations of deteriorating financial situation and demanding that his accounts be made public, as well as tax evasion. After the new Taipei District Procuratorate re-interrogated on the evening of the 21st, Jianing's family of 4 was handed over bail, and Jianing paid bail of 30,000 yuan and publicly apologized. The agent said that the case is still under investigation and is waiting for the outcome of the investigation. News highlights mainland actress Guan Xiaotong recently did not post a blessing on Liu Han's birthday, April 20th, as usual, triggering speculation about a change in relationship. Netizens waited for 24 hours and did not see the blessing post, which heated up the rumors of the breakup between the two. Guan Xiaotong participated in the recording of the May 4th gala yesterday, 21st, evening, wearing a white suit and short skirt, singing with the actor Deng Wei, in good condition, and was not affected by the breakup rumors. News highlights artist Wang Pinlin was recently invited to attend a press conference of a Japanese shoe brand, and after the event, he did not rest, but personally drove the agent to show a warm man's side. After Wang Pinlin finished the trip, he picked up the car alone and picked up a woman wearing a hat and mask, and accompanied her to the Chinese medicine clinic. News highlights South Korean actor Yoon Kyung-ho recently shined in an interview, admitting that in addition to acting, the focus of his life is his lover Choi So-young, who has been dating for more than 12 years. He said that although this answer was a bit old-fashioned, Choi So-young's happiness made him feel the happiest, and laughed that he tried to show a good appearance in front of her. This affectionate confession touched fans, and they left messages on the internet to express their envy and speculate that the two may be about to enter marriage. News highlights veteran artist Bai Bingbing attended Lai Waru's wedding a few days ago, but was accused of leaving without dining because she was dissatisfied with the seating arrangement, so she clarified on Facebook that she was very blessed in my heart, and I am not unhappy. After the wedding turmoil, she shared Bingbing's quotation, one in person, one behind the back, lamenting the hypocrisy in interpersonal relationships, reminding everyone not to rely too much on praise, and not to care about the indifference of others, because the tenderness behind may become a laughing stock. News highlights Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Lailun and People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuaqing held a summit of opposition leaders on returning democracy to Taiwan today, which was bitterly criticized by K. Jianming, chief of the DPP's Legislative Yuan Caucus. He accused the two of them of being self-aggrandized, lacking constitutional knowledge and international outlook, and called them like brainless boxer hooligans. K stressed that the blue and white parties are challenging the constitution, saying that the blue and white parties are impatient for the ouster of the cabinet and the general recall, believing that their actions will be invalid, and predicting more drastic political action in the future. News highlights an eagle frame collapse accident occurred at National Taiwan University Hospital in Zhongzheng District, Taipei City yesterday morning, causing a migrant worker to lose contact. After a search by firefighters, the missing person was found in the scaffolding pile on the 3rd floor at nearly 3 o'clock this morning, and his death was confirmed. The cause of the accident was preliminarily determined to be that the dismantled materials were stacked too much, which exceeded the load bearing of the scaffold, resulting in the collapse. The Labor Inspection Department has imposed a fine on the construction party in accordance with regulations. News highlights the 25-year-old Yachty Hotel in Tainan recently announced its closure due to the decline of Taiwan tourism, and conducted a foreclosure auction due to financial difficulties. The hotel was auctioned off due to arrears, with a starting price of 199.6 million yuan, but it was not successfully sold, and a second auction will be held at the end of the month, and the reserve price will be reduced to 179.64 million yuan. Due to the large amount of money needed to renovate and the inability to process loans, experts point out that even if the price is reduced, there may be no bid. News highlights Mr. Andy, a $1 million YouTuber, recently accused his ex-girlfriend Jianing and his family of taking away the right to operate the channel and was suspected of tax evasion. On the evening of the 21st, the new Taipei District Prosecutor's Office searched for a family in Jianing and the company Kunhai Entertainment and interviewed 9 people. After Jianing and his family paid bail, the prosecution restricted them from leaving the country and going to sea. If it is found that there is intentional tax evasion, the maximum penalty is 7 years in prison according to the provisions of the tax collection law. The case arose from Mr. Andy's claim that he had been stripped of his equity and that he had not been fairly compensated for the channel's revenue. News highlights a man surnamed Zhang in New Taipei City was shot dead by his friend Yao Zongqin with a silencer in May 112 and his body was abandoned in the Wugu Mountains. Yao Nan owed 1.5 million yuan unpaid, and lured Zhang Nan to his residence to be killed because of the demand. After the incident, Yao Nan lied that the deceased committed suicide, which was later discovered and sent to the court in accordance with the law. Yao Nan was sentenced to life imprisonment in the first instance, but the original verdict was upheld after the appeal of the second instance, and the appeal was rejected, and the case can be appealed again. The mother of the deceased, surnamed Zhang, appeared in court to accuse Yao Nan of using the settlement to delay the sentence and strongly demanded a heavy sentence. News highlights K. Jianming, chief of the DPP's Legislative Yuan Caucus, criticized Kuomintang Chairman Zhu Lailun and People's Party Chairman Huang Qiuaqing, saying that they lacked constitutional knowledge and international vision, and behaved like boxer-style hooligans. He questioned the rush of the blue and white parties to overthrow the cabinet bill, and stressed that the cabinet must be voted on in accordance with the provisions of the constitution, describing it as an idiotic act. Jianming also pointed out that the general recall coincided with the action of toppling the cabinet, and predicted that Zhu Enhuang would step down to thank the countrymen. News highlights Foreign Minister Lim Jialong said that due to the budget cuts, it is expected that passports will not be printed from October, and only 1.85 million blank passports can be purchased so far, which is expected to run out by the end of the year. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs explained that 720,000 passports have been issued this year, of which 2.09 million are estimated to be issued this year, and that the shortage will be met with a safe stock, and will be procured in advance if necessary. This issue sparked discussions among netizens questioning the government's budget management. News highlights Kuomintang legislator Wang Xiaoling asked Zhou Rongta, the premier, about when the 3% salary increase for military and public education would be issued. Zhou Rongta responded that it would be paid in May, and stressed that the budget cut would affect the payroll time. Wang Xiaoling was dissatisfied with this and refuted Zhou Rongta's questioning of his legal knowledge, and the two sides argued fiercely. News highlights Mr. Hui, who was over 50 years old, often felt tired, had a fever and fainted on a golf course, and was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia after examination. This is the most common blood cancer in adults, with atypical symptoms but rapid deterioration, and in recent years, there has been an increase in middle-aged and middle-aged patients. Common symptoms of acute myeloid leukemia include tiredness, fever, bruising and bone pain, which can be misdiagnosed and delayed treatment. The medical sector has called on the government to relax health insurance benefits to reduce the financial burden on patients. News highlights artist Lin Yeding, 85 years old, was found dead in a courtyard pool in Chilin after his 85-year-old dementia father left home and disappeared for 11 days. She thanked the police for their all-out search and rescue efforts, and because of the spiritual comfort from Venerable Dawai's teachings, she decided to take refuge in Buddhism, hoping to care for more dementia families with positive force. News highlights Argentine internet celebrity Yang Kina suddenly died of hypoglycemia on April 2 at the age of 38. Her husband, Yang Chung, was saddened to confirm the news, and knelt on the ground at the airport to cry bitterly and apologize to his parents-in-law, blaming himself for failing to take good care of his wife. Yang Kina used to be the image ambassador of Chongqing, and her sudden death made fans reluctant. News highlights according to a study in the United States, nearly 9% of the 51 toothpastes on the market contain lead, half contain mercury, and some also contain heavy metals such as arsenic and cadmium, covering a number of well-known brands and children's special toothpastes. The source of the pollution is suspected to be related to additives such as bentonite and calcium carbonate. Experts criticized the federal standard as too broad and called for attention to the safety of toothpaste. News highlights Epstein-Barr virus, EBV, is a first-class carcinogenic virus, which has been infected by 90% of adults worldwide and can cause nasopharyngeal carcinoma, lymphoma, and other diseases in the latent body. It is recommended to test EBV antibodies regularly and strengthen immunity through regular work and rest, nutritional supplements such as vitamin D and green tea polyphenols, etc., to reduce the risk. News highlights the U.S. China trade war and U.S. debt problems continue to heat up, and financial writer Hugo warned that a default on U.S. Treasury bonds will hit global financial markets hard. The U.S. needs to refinance $6.5 trillion in June this year, and if interest rates cannot be lowered, or if market confidence is shaken, there may be doubts about debt failure. Hugo believes that the probability of default is extremely low, but if it happens, Taiwan will suffer three major shocks: sharp fluctuations in the exchange rate of the Taiwan dollar, a heavy fall in Taiwanese stocks, and a wave of financial institutions' recognition losses and capital redemptions, and the impact may exceed that of the 2008 financial tsunami. News highlights Mother's Day is approaching, the price of gold soared, and the gold price of silver buildings rushed to 14,180 yuan per dollar today, 22nd, breaking through the 14,000 yuan mark for the first time, more than 10,000 yuan more expensive than the same period last year, making many people say that filial piety is unaffordable. International gold prices were affected by geopolitics, U.S. interest rate policy and inflation expectations, and safe haven demand pushed prices up to new highs. Experts estimate that the short-term gold price will fluctuate at a high level, and the long-term will remain bullish. Some children have chosen to replace gold jewelry with other practical or thoughtful gifts. News highlights the weather is getting hotter, and a woman's request for electricity to cool down has sparked heated discussions. Tapower suggests 4 tricks: paste heat insulation stickers on windows, draw curtains, turn off lights and turn off the power, and mop the floor with a wet mop, which can reduce the room temperature by about 35 degrees. Netizens also pushed dehumidification and electric fan to be super power saving and cool. Tapower reminds that electrical appliances are also a heat source, and the power should be turned off before going out to avoid overheating indoors. These simple methods can effectively cool down and save money.